Alrighty then, in our demo I'm going to show you a little bit about managing display properties and drivers from the perspective of Microsoft Windows. You're seeing the desktop, at least part of my desktop. Sorry that I'm not showing the whole thing, but I actually have my resolution set up such that it won't work. But anyway, I don't need to show you my whole desktop because what you can do in Windows is right-click an empty area of the desktop and come down to Screen Resolution. Reorient the window here to make it easier for us all to see. The Screen Resolution control panel in Windows 8.1 shows you your displays. Now, as you can see, Windows detects 3 displays here, 2 of which are powered on. If we open up the display dropdown, it has correctly identified my 2 LG displays, but it doesn't seem to have a driver for my VGA display device. For maximum performance and stability, I would suggest that you install the vendor's drivers, not just for your video card, but also for your monitor. Sometimes the vendor actually won't give you a driver on their website. They'll say accept whatever your operating system gives you, but to my mind, having the native driver gives you the most reliability and flexibility. But anyway, using Detect and Identify here allows you to, and you can actually drag and drop these monitor icons around to orient them. So this answers the question. I have one monitor plugged in via mini display port, the other one via HDMI. How do I set this guy as my primary? It's being detected as Windows as monitor 2. You can horse around with it to get your primary registered as number 1, but frankly, I just dragged 2 to the leftmost position and made this my main display. You see, when I select it, the text says this is currently your main display. In Windows, your main display is the one that contains the start. Well, I shouldn't say that because nowadays in Windows 8.1 and Windows 10, all of your monitors will actually have this taskbar where your start button is, but only your main display will have the notification area, the so-called system tray with your clock and so on. And when you do multiple displays, as I said, you can either duplicate or extend. Extend is the natural choice because I can literally drag a window from here to here. I can open up an Excel spreadsheet and spread it across both monitors, and I do that quite regularly. And there you go. We can change the resolution here. You'll notice that the supported resolutions that match my monitor's 16:9 aspect ratio are highlighted as options. We can't choose everything here. There's 1600 by 900, 1280 by 720. Surprisingly, we can do VGA 1024 by 768, but we're going to have heavy letterboxing, and the icons are going to look so big it'll probably make me cross my eyes. Now, if we go to advanced settings, this is the equivalent of opening up a tool like Device Manager if you've used that, and we can get to the properties of the video card itself. You see on the adapter page, it gives you some basic information. If we go to list all modes, this is where we can get to the refresh rate. And it looks like right now I'm doing 1920 by 1080, that's 1080p, 32-bit color depth, which is pretty much the maximum nowadays, and 59 Hertz, so approximately 60. Like I said, 60 is the standard for LCD panels. The properties of the driver, if I go here, this allows us primarily to get to the driver page where you can do a driver update, but quite honestly, what I do is go to the vendor's website, download the driver, and run their installer. But if you have the raw driver files, you can do that. We can also roll back to a previous driver. Sometimes updating a device driver causes more problems than benefits, and you can fall back to the previously installed one. We can disable the video card, that's certainly not recommended now on my system, or uninstall the driver. Now, when you install the driver from the vendor, oftentimes they'll extend the Windows dialog boxes. So although this guy here is a Windows control panel page, notice that I have a page called AMD Catalyst Control Center. This is an AMD Radeon card, and I have installed the manufacturer's driver, so I can, if I want to, use their configuration tool. They have a lot of stuff here. Options for skewing the performance of the card for gaming, actually overclocking the card if I want to. It's pretty cool. Again, it's an argument in favor of using the vendor's driver. For the monitor, like I said, this is where you can swap out, adjust the refresh rate, swap out the driver, and this is nice because it actually tells you how you're physically connected to that given monitor. HDMI is what Windows detects for my primary monitor now. Finally, if you're supporting a professional photographer or graphic artist who's really concerned with color, the Color Management tab opens up a separate window. Again, let me bring this down. And And the ICC stands for International Color Consortium, and the ICC is a way to standardize color. So this is way beyond our scope, but you can actually create profiles, download and install profiles, and share profiles such that you can do what you can to ensure that the colors that show up on one designer's monitor look exactly the same as the colors rendered on another designer's monitor. Quite honestly, in my experience being married to a graphic designer, one reason why many graphic designers prefer Mac computers is that because Apple standardizes all their hardware, you can take some comfort feeling that your colors will be accurately represented from computer to computer because, after all, it's the same video card, the same driver, and the same output.